Hi guys, today we're going to be making lamb samosas. I'm going to take you through all the steps and we're going to be making the pastry, the filling, actually making the samosas and then frying them. Okay, so I've got here 750 grams of flour and I'm going to put in a teaspoon of salt in there. So this is all we need for the pastry, just flour and cold water. Now you have to make this dough quite stiff. We can't have it too soft because this pastry is supposed to be nice and crisp once we fry. Okay, so it takes a little while, but be patient. Put a little water at a time because you don't want to get it too soft. Use it gradually, the water. Right, the pastry is made now. It's all ready. It's quite stiff and I'm going to leave this for about 15 minutes just for it to rest. Cover the bowl and leave it. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the filling. We're going to be using 700 grams of mince. This is lamb mince. I've got some coriander powder, black pepper, garam masala, salt, ajwain seeds, cumin seeds, chili flakes, green chilies chopped up, and ginger and garlic paste. Okay, right, we're going to start cooking the filling. I'm going to put in the mince, break it down. The heat's on high, and that's what you need at this very moment. So I'm going to add all the spices, red chili flakes, ajwain seeds. Put those in your hand and just crush them in your hands, and then it releases the flavors and the aromas. Now the salt, cumin seed, garam masala, black pepper, coriander powder, green chilies, and the ginger and garlic paste. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to this, sort of like half a glass, just to get it cooking, and it's easier to mix. Okay. So keep breaking that mince down because we don't want lumps of mince. Okay, the mince has been cooking for about 5-6 minutes now, and there's still a little bit of water here. I'm going to leave it on low heat for about 6 minutes. Very low heat. The mince is cooked now, and as you can see, there's no moisture left in this mince. It needs to be very dry. And sometimes, you know, when you're cooking mince, there's a lot of fat there, and that will be sort of like floating around at the bottom. What you need to do is put the mince into a sieve and drain that off. Okay, so I'm going to now let this cool down completely while we make the pastry. Okay, all cooked now. The aromas are amazing. Looking at it visually as well, it looks lovely, but we're going to be building on this and we're going to be adding a lot more things, a lot more flavors, a lot more textures by the time we finish with this. Right, we're going to be making the samosa pastry. It's a kind of phyllo pastry, very thin, very crispy when it's fried. We need to have a flat surface. You can use a frying pan. Obviously not everybody has got something like this. This was specially made for me by one of my uncles. It's called a tawa. It's cast iron, but you can use the non-stick frying pan, but make sure it's the big pan. Okay, so I'll put that on low heat. It's quite thick, so it takes a while to get heated up. Okay, so here we have the pastry that we made earlier. We're going to make some balls. From this flour, you will be able to make about 60-70 samosas. You'll have enough pastry to make 60-70 samosas. So you're going to make tight balls, the same size. I normally do about 8 at a time, but I'm going to do 6 because obviously if you're going to be making this pastry for the first time, you're not going to get it right. It takes a little bit of practice, but just watch and see, and do have a go, because this is very nice pastry. Now I'm going to get some oil and make sure that I spread it all over, right to the edge. Make sure you cover every single bit of this pastry, and take the next circle and then just put that on top, put flour on it and put it on top like that. Then again you're going to put oil, so you're layering it, pastry, oil, flour, until you use all 6 of them up. Okay, so put some flour on there and then put it on top. Stretch it so that it fits. If it's a bit smaller, stretch the pastry. Okay, right to the end. Flour. Okay, and this is the last one. And I'm going to just coat that with flour and just put that on top. Press it down. If it's a bit short, just pull it so that it's equal. Okay. Gonna let that rest for a few minutes before we roll it. Okay, so we're gonna roll out the layered pastry. Use flour if you need to. Now gently work from the middle out. Okay, and then just move it slightly. Okay, I'm gonna turn it over. Just sometimes it shrinks, so just pull it. There you go. Just keep rolling. Work the edges. Okay. Now this is going to fit on my tawa. I'm not going to make it any bigger. So then you just put your hand like this and put it over. You can move it around slightly, bring it together. Okay, so it fits nicely. The heat's got to be sort of like medium, not too high, because the pastry will cook very quickly and we don't want that to happen. We just want it to be heated through so that we can peel it off once the steam forms inside the layers. Okay, the colour's changing slightly, there's slight bubbles here. Okay, that tells me that I need to turn this over. Now I'm going to turn it over again and I'm going to peel the first layer off. I have a damp tea towel here and I'm going to pile them up on there as I take them off. Be very gentle because the pastry is very thin, so gently, pull it apart. And it's very hot, so be careful. They say I have asbestos fingers, so I'm quite used to this. Been doing this for years. Okay, so I only did 6 here. I can do 8, 10, at a time, but you should try with the 6 at the beginning, and then sort of like, you know, build it up on that. Right, I want you to see how thin that pastry is. Can you see my finger? You can see my hand through that. That's how thin this pastry is. You could say it's like a phyllo pastry, but much more manageable. It doesn't dry out. You can freeze this. The pastry is all made, and now I'm going to cut it into each individual pastry to make the samosa. Okay, so I'm going to cut down the side to tidy that up, take away the thicker edges. Okay, so that goes there, and then same on the other side. From each one of those balls that I made, you get 4 samosas. So down the middle, okay, I'm going to take this part, let me cut it properly first, and put it on top of the other half, like that. Okay, and now I'm going to cut this in half again. So I've cut each round circle of pastry into 4, each sheet into 4. Okay, so we've got pastry here for about 70 samosas, and I'm still going to tidy it up a little bit more. I'm going to cut this is the middle bit. I'm going to cut the sides like that. And these bits that you have coming off the pastry, you can fry them just like that on their own and have them with dips, hummus, you know, as crisps. Very tasty, very Moorish. Okay, so here is my pastry. Okay, that is the samosa pastry. All nice and neat. Just going to tidy these up as well, so that just cutting the edges off this side, cutting the edges off this side. So keep this in a damp tea towel. Okay. At this stage, when they cool down a little bit, you can put them in foil or cling film and you can freeze them. And so when you're going to make samosas the next time, take them out, defrost them slightly, and then make the samosas. Okay, don't leave them out too long once you've defrosted them. Only take them out when you're going to make the samosas. Otherwise they will dry out once they've been frozen. Okay, so I'll just keep that for a time being. Right, the mince has cooled down completely, and as I said, we're going to build on all this. I've got here 3 medium potatoes which I cut into cubes and then I boiled with a little bit of salt. So they're cold as well, so they go in as. And this is 3 medium onions chopped up very fine. Can you see? Okay. They've got to be chopped up fine. There's nothing worse than having a great big lump of onion when you're eating something like this. Okay, and we have got here coriander and some chaat masala. You can get this chaat masala from any Asian stores, you know, where you pick up your spices. So that goes in, and we're going to mix this. Now you don't have to put potatoes in if you don't want to. If you just want to leave it meat and you know, lamb and onions, that's fine. You can add peas to it if you want to. You can add a little bit of potatoes. It's up to you. Again, you know, in Indian cookery, you can just practice and experiment and try to make the dish to your taste. Right, it's very important that at this stage you taste. If you need more green chilies or if you need a bit more salt, you've gone through all this effort and then you find that, you know, there isn't that much flavor. Okay, so I'm going to taste to see the chilies. I think that's fine. But would you like to try?
Yes.
Right, I'm going to get my cameraman to taste this. This is Afaq.
Thank you so much. So we're going to have a little taste.
Do you need more salt? Chili?
I think the taste is very balanced. I taste everything, the potatoes, meat, all the different spices. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, great.
Amazing.
Right, we're now going to make the paste for the samosas, to seal the samosas with. This is just plain flour and some water. Okay, so we're going to mix this up and make a sort of like a glue. Not too thick, not too thin. I need a bit more water in there. Here's the pastry that I made earlier. I'm just going to separate them like this so it makes it easier when I'm making the samosas once I'm on a roll. Can you see how thin it is, how flexible it is? Okay. Right, I picked up this pastry and I picked it up so that the sides are going down like this. Not like this, where they're going up. Like this, where they're going down, okay? So we're going to find the middle, which is there, and we're going to fold in the middle. Put your thumb there on the point, and then just fold it over. Okay, should we go do that again? So we find the middle, go down the middle, straight down, and then put your thumb there, and fold it over. Okay, and then hold these two bits, and that way your samosa is not going to fall apart. We've got to make sure there's no holes at the bottom where the oil can get through. And you can look inside as well, so there's no hole, as you can see. So you take a tablespoon of the mixture. More, it depends on how much you want in there, but a tablespoon generally is enough. Okay, take this and press down. Okay, take a bit of the paste, go into the corner, both the corners, go to the top, and here down the side with the pastry folded there, and then bring this down tight. Okay, take your thumb and just tuck that under and press. Okay, there. So that's sealed. Then take your finger and press there, and press like this, and that's sealed. And any other bits that are sort of like not sucked down, just add a little bit of paste and just smooth everything down like this to make it all nice and tidy. Right, we're ready to fry the samosas now. So I've heated up some oil in a deep pan, okay, and it's on high heat at the moment. So I'm just putting in a bit of pastry. As you can see, it's bubbling up. That's fine, that's hot enough for me. You turn the heat to medium, and then you start frying. Let me just take these out. Okay, now put them in gently. Don't throw them in because you'll have oil all over the place. Use the sides. Okay. Put in as many as you can comfortably move around. Okay, so remember it's a medium heat now. Everything's cooked, but you still don't want it to cook too quickly, the pastry to brown too quickly, because we want it to get nice and crispy. I'll put one more in there. Okay, don't turn them. Leave them for a couple of minutes. If you turn them at this stage they might fall apart. So just leave them for 2 minutes to sort of like hold their shape and sort of like crispen up a bit, and then turn them over. Okay, right, they're nice and golden now, and this is how we like them, all over both sides. We're going to take them nice and crispy as well. Just take them out. I'm going to put them in a colander so that any oil is drained.
No, it's fine.
What's up, man? It's popcorn.
These look delicious, Rana. Oh, we've been waiting all day.
Oh my god. Pastry is so crisp.
Very nice.
So we're gonna try the samosas.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me try these.
Pastry is so crunchy.
Very crunchy.
Isn't it?
And have some ketchup.
I like this because it's crunchy. It's a little bit thicker than phyllo pastry. I think it's quite nice.
And you saw you pleased I didn't put peas in there?
Amazing.
Although you can have these.
Amazing, perfect.
Very nice.
As I said, the pastry is very nice, very well cooked.
And you know,
Taste.
you can experiment with the filling. You can have tuna fish with potatoes. You know, people make chocolate samosas. So, you know, with coconut, you can have raisins and coconut in there. I mean, the fillings are endless. Yeah, endless. Whatever you like, try and put it in there. I think I've heard somebody put their roast dinner in there. Yeah, chopped it all up and put it in the samosa. But can you imagine? But I mean, I'll have to try that one day.